What is up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing here a Rocket deck profile. So last time we did the chill session where we focused on actually building the deck, but now that I've actually done some off-screen testing, I found that this deck is actually going to be a bit different from what we've actually first started off with, and as a result this is something that is, I believe, to be the most optimal I can build out of all the resources that I have available. So without further ado, we're going to begin, but before that I would like to remind you guys to consider dropping a like, share, comment and subscribe as well if you enjoyed this video. It really does help. However, let's begin. So starting off, I'm going to be playing here 2 copies of the Rocket Tracer. I was considering playing 3 copies of it, but I realized that 2 copies actually just does the job. It's all you really need, and playing too many ends up clogging you anyway because you are playing a card that has a hard once per turn effect. Next up, we're playing over here the Magna Rocket Dragon. Just 1 copy. It's a nice versatile card, but you don't need more than 1. That goes the same with the Silver Rocket Dragon. It's a very specific card, but we want to have a good variety of different rocket monsters available to our actual workings here, and as a result, playing 1 copy of the Silver Rocket is also well worth it. Plus, as a 1900 beat stick, it sometimes does work out. Next up, I'm playing here 1 copy of the Metal Rocket Dragon, an absolutely amazing card as well that works in its own way, but being a level 4 that's also a different rockets from the others is something that we definitely want. We're also going to be playing here the 1 copy of Anis Rocket Dragon, a really nice card for its effect mainly, to actually just stun one of the opponent's monsters, but playing it in the deck is no harm whatsoever. I'm also going to be playing here 1 copy of Rocket Synchron, really amazing card. We only need 1 of them because it is going to be the card that requires us to normal summon to get the most benefits out of it, but you could definitely do quite a bit with the Rocket Synchron because there are plenty of level 7s in our deck. Finally, we're going to be playing here the 1 copy of Rocket Recharger, again another level 4, but at least with this particular version you could still benefit from this particular card by reviving back one of your monsters. It's almost as if it's a hand trap in its own way. However, those were the 8 rocket monsters I actually have in the deck. I'm not playing any more than that. I believe this is the golden ratio for the deck. Next up, I'm playing here 2 copies of Absolouter as well as 2 copies of Noctivision. I think these 2 cards go hand in hand together. They are both also level 7, so it works well with the Rocket Synchron, summoning it out and going directly into your Savage Dragon, but Noctivision allows you to pretty much summon itself out as long as you special summon out a dark monster, which is really easy of course, and if it's used as material, you get to draw 1 card. On the other hand, Absolouter special summons itself out on the board as long as you have a rocket monster, and then when this is sent to the graveyard, you can add a rocket from your deck to your hand. So both cards have quite similar effects and even similar stats, so it definitely just works out well. Next up, we're playing here the Black Dragon and White Dragon. I think they both go well together of course, and since they're both at 1 you may as well play them, but there is a way to actually make the most use out of these 2 cards using a particular card which we'll get to later on, and hopefully I could actually demonstrate it in the test stand video after this. But next up, we're playing here 1 Galactic Spiral Dragon. You only need 1 of them, it just summons itself out so easily, but it allows you to go into your rank 8s, so it's definitely nice. Otherwise, it's an extra spared link material. That also brings us next up to the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Great card, great extender, gets you more monsters out on the board, easy to summon out, and it just does really great wonders for the deck. Moving on, we're playing here the 1 Chaos Dragon Levianeer, mostly as a card that will work with 1 other card out there, but you could easily summon this out as well if you actually wanted to. You have plenty of fodder in the graveyard, but it will mostly be dark monsters, but that's okay because if you actually use only dark, you can shuffle a random card from your opponent's hand into the deck, so it is a great way to deplete your opponent's resources. For further extension, I'm also going to be playing here 2 copies of Parallel Exceed. I know it's a wind monster, which does make it difficult. I know it's also a Cyverse monster, which also makes it difficult, but getting extra link material out there is definitely a great help for this particular deck. If you don't feel comfortable playing the Parallel Exceed, feel free to take it out and put in 2 copies of Nibiru instead. Otherwise, moving on to hand traps, we're playing here 3 copies of Ash, as well as 3 copies of Vela. They definitely do a great job at disrupting the opponent. It's effortless, it's already in the hand when you draw into it, so you don't really need to do anything else. It works particularly well with this Rokket deck because with Rokkets you don't need all 4 or 5 cards in your hand to perform your combos. You can actually get away with combos just by having 2 or 3 cards, which is definitely beneficial because it allows for Effect Vela and Ash to work in the deck without actually affecting the combos. Onto spells, we're playing here 3 copies of Quick Launch. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, brings out any rockets, not even hard ones per turn. We're also going to be playing here the Boot Sector Launch, a great field spell. We only need to play 1, easily brings itself out via Strike a Dragon from your extra deck, and with that being said, it also just allows you to special summon out rockets really easy from your hand. We're also going to be playing here the 1 copy of Dragon Ravine, a great card to ditch off more cards to the graveyard of course, and it's easily searchable via Romulus, which is also the extra deck card. Moving on, we're going to be playing here 1 copy of Burrow Regenerator, we're playing here 1 copy of World Legacy Guard Dragon, and 1 copy of the Monster Reborn. They're essentially just all ways to revive back your own rockets, with Guard Dragon being the exception here, allowing it to also manipulate your columns. To send more cards to the graveyard, we want to play Dragon Shrine and Foolish Burial, and of course for a bit of disruption we're also playing here the Caught by the Grave, definitely really nice. Again, I still wish it was at 3 copies. But next up, for a bit of draw power, I'm also going to be playing here 2 copies of Allure of Darkness. We have plenty of dark monsters, and I think Allure of Darkness doesn't necessarily hurt the deck. Finally, we're playing here 2 copies of the Chaos Space. Chaos Space is a really great card. This is how I get the Wyver Buster and the Collop Serpent, as well as the Leviania, to actually work well with this particular deck. You could actually get quite a bit of benefits off the Chaos Space, and as a result, it's worth playing at least 2 copies of. Now onto the extra deck, we're going to be playing here 1 copy of Striker Dragon and 1 copy of Pisty. I think they're both the 2 most crucial cards in the deck itself. Striker Dragon getting out your Boot Sector Launch, and Pisty just being one of the better cards out there available. Keep in mind, Pisty does have a restriction, allowing you to only summon out dragon monsters, so it does make it a little bit restricting, but I think we could definitely get away with it. Next up, we're playing here 1 Twin Triangle Dragon, a great card to extend. We're playing plenty of monsters that have really high levels. Noctivision Dragon, Absorauda, Spiral Dragon, Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, so they could easily be revived via the Twin Triangle Dragon. One of the best starters is the Romulus, just a great card to begin our actual combos, and as a result, it's definitely well worth playing in the deck. Plus it searches out your Dragon Ravine on summon as well. We're also going to be playing here the 1 copy of Quadboral Dragon, great card to extend. Not a lot of people actually play that card in the deck, so it is something that might surprise you guys, but it is definitely great to actually get the things going. I'm also going to be playing here 1 copy of Telindrous Dragon. It's just a great link too that could revive itself and add itself back as further link climbing, so it definitely works out well. I'm also going to be playing here an Ip Masquerena, which easily goes into your Nightmare Unicorn. You essentially want to go into this and leave it on the field. During your opponent's turn, you could easily just use the Ip Masquerena, link into your Unicorn, and spin one of your opponent's cards back into the deck. Absolutely amazing. And lastly, for the Link 3s, we're just playing 1. The Triple Burst Dragon is probably my favorite in this particular bunch, mainly for its link markers pointing to the left, which works with the Pisty that's pointing to the right. As a result, you could summon out something really easily off that. Now moving on, we're going to be playing here 1 copy of Beauregard Dragon. A lot of people might be wondering why I'm playing this over Burrow Load or Burrow Sword. I find that Beauregard is a bit better in this circumstance. Firstly, it can't be destroyed by card effects, which makes it a bit better than the Burrow Load Dragon, because Burrow Load Dragon just can't be targeted, but it can still be destroyed. So having a borrowed guard is definitely something I find to be a bit more powerful in this circumstance. The other thing is that you could actually use this card to your benefit by actually bringing back monsters that you destroyed. So the Borrow Guard Dragon actually becomes more of a favorable option over the Borrow Load and the Borrow Sword, though you could easily side deck those cards in because this is more so great for starting off your plays. Borrow Load and Borrow Sword works better for an actual OTK or going second kind of play. However, the other Link 4 we're playing is the yugioh. Gotta be careful with this, don't use Rocket Tracer's effect and you could easily get into this, no problem, because it is an earth monster sadly, but it definitely still works out for the deck. For synchros we're playing here just the one copy of the Savage Dragon, that's the only synchro we're playing. It just works out incredibly well and I think it's become one of the staples of the deck. We're also going to be playing here one copy of the number 38 Hope Harbinger, definitely an amazing card. Again, you just got to be careful of the Rocket Tracer, just don't use its effect and you could actually get into this, otherwise it is a light monster making it very difficult sometimes. Finally, if we can't actually go into anything else and we already used up the Savage Dragon, we might go into this. And this is Raider's Knight, which allows you to directly go into your Ark Rebellion Dragon. Absolutely amazing, just works out incredibly well for the deck as well. Mainly a great OTK card, so I use it typically to OTK the opponents, never using it to go into my first turn, but with that being said, I guess you guys could actually see that in the test stand videos. However, that was pretty much it for today's deck profile, so I do hope you guys enjoyed this. Definitely feel free to leave your suggestions. There are some cards that I don't have, so don't expect me to have every single card out there, though it's not like I actually think that we need them. For example, Starlight Safer, we don't actually need that card. It would be nice to have, but it's not crucial. Same thing applies for Borrow Sword or Appaloosa. It's not like that would really work anyway, with Rocket Tracer being the lock to dark monsters and the Pisty being the lock to dragon monsters. You definitely have a few things that are restricting you from going into certain things. But with that being said, thanks for joining me today. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you all next time.